No, Nick and Mimi, certainly a sad scene out here today in Fairdale. I'm going to step out and let my photographer zoom in just so you guys can get another look at the devastation behind me here in Fairdale after that tornado ripped through the area. Governor Rauner confirming this afternoon that a second person was killed here. The victims are 67-year-old Geraldine Schultz and 69-year-old Jacqueline Closa, both here of Fairdale. Officials say 20 more were taken to the hospital. Of those, 6 were admitted, one of them in serious condition. Now, guys, conditions are dangerous out here still. As you can see behind me, we showed you a lot of rubble lying around, and this field is just littered with debris. We've got ComEd trucks lining the area here, trying to get power restored and take care of the mess of wires that were downed in this area. And we do know that emergency crews, again, are still sifting through the rubble. Eyewitness News reporter Lauren Langer tells us how they're still searching for victims that they hope that they might find.
Went out and looked at the sky like probably everybody else, and seen the actual tornado coming in from the west.
That tornado ripping through Fairdale and keeping emergency crews on scene the next day, still sifting through the rubble. 67-year-old Geraldine Schultz was found dead in her residence following the devastating tornado. A town completely destroyed, and now emergency crews resume their search in daylight after a couple of people are still unaccounted for.
It's going to be a lot of handwork. It's going to be working with some heavy equipment, and we're hopeful that our search will be fruitless in the sense that we won't find anybody.
Authorities are still unsure of the exact number of people missing since many fled the area.
We're trying to track down all the members of the community that have left the area. Some of them we already know, and many of them we don't know where they went to.
Adding to the panic and catching many off guard is the fact that Fairdale has no tornado sirens to warn residents. Some may not have known the tornado was heading their way.
It's possible if they weren't, watching their TV or on their cell phones.
About 11 people were taken to the hospital with injuries. The search will continue following the highly destructive storm that hit the small town.
For me, this is my community. This is my fire district. These are my friends, neighbors, so.
Again, such a sad scene out here today, and we know people are so anxious to come out and do whatever they can to help, but emergency crews are really telling people to stay back for a while the scene is still so dangerous in the area. But worth mentioning here, plenty of people have been asking how they can donate and where they can donate following yesterday's deadly storm. There are lots of options throughout the state line, of course, including Rockford Christian Schools, the Northern Illinois Food Bank, the local Red Cross and Salvation Army chapters, as well as so many others. You can find links to all of those on our website, mystateline.com. And Mimi, I understand you are out at Rochelle today speaking with the governor as he assessed the scene.
That's right, I was, Christy. One area of Rochelle was hit almost as hard as Fairdale. As a matter of fact, the home of the Ogle County Sheriff himself was destroyed.
Yeah, we want to show you some aerial shots right now of the devastation, give you an idea of just how widespread this was. Dozens of homes you can see on the northwest side of the hub city either damaged or destroyed. The devastation so overwhelming it moved local public officials to tears. The storm cutting a 50-mile path that started in Amboy but hit hard. And another victim of last night's severe weather, a popular restaurant in Rochelle. Area residents and restaurant regulars there surveyed the damage this morning at Grubstakers. A dozen people were initially trapped underneath the rubble, but incredibly, none were hurt seriously.
Governor Rauner visits Rochelle, reassuring residents still in shock after the damage left behind by a devastating tornado. More than 24 homes were completely destroyed, while 50 more were on the receiving end of significant damage. Several people are now without a home to call their own, including the Ogle County Sheriff, who lost his home last night.
Unfortunately, he lost his home. Fortunately for him, his family is safe. He lost his home, was completely destroyed yesterday. And despite that, he's been serving around the clock along with his entire team with no sleep.
Governor Rauner is assuring Rochelle citizens of state support. He signed a state disaster declaration this morning.
As we mentioned, the last EF-4 tornado in Illinois was in the central Illinois city community of Washington.
And they haven't forgotten all the help they received in the face of crisis.
Coming up next on Eyewitness News Local at 6, Washington's good wishes. How that town is already mobilizing to try to help tornado victims up here.
Plus, drone delivery. Robots may be delivering your packages sooner than you think. What Amazon says could be the next stop in their business model.
And coming up tonight on Eyewitness News Local at 10, we'll have more details from the National Weather Service about last night's State Line Superstorm.
And later, Kristen Swiner will be talking about the fallout from the State Line Superstorm and tornado tirade when Eyewitness News Local at 6 continues. We mentioned earlier, last night's storm was the most powerful storm since the one that hit Washington, Illinois.
And now that community wants to help those hit so hard up here.
Let's head back out to Eyewitness News reporter Christie Nicks for more. Christie?
Hey, Mimi and Nick, that's right. The people of Washington are still reeling from the devastating tornado there that happened in 2013. But tonight, as Hannah Hilliard explains, they're really trying to lend a helping hand to folks right here in the state line.
Some of the footage we've seen is a vivid reminder of what happened to us a year and a half ago.
Most in Washington will forever remember November 17th, 2013, whether it be seeking cover or searching for belongings. But they will also remember the support they received from all over the country.
How quickly did people start wanting to help? I would say immediately.
And now they are ready to do the same for their neighbors up north.
You can almost say pay it forward, but you can almost say pay it back.
Some in Washington have started fundraising pages online with thousands of dollars already raised.
I know that Rochelle and Fairdale will have the same type of response, because I know a lot of our residents have called up there trying to say, where do I go to volunteer?
And if anything, Mayor Gary Manier is ready to give support.
Speak to the people up there and talk about just what we did, time frame, day 2, day 3, day 4.
And he says residents of Rochelle and Fairdale can look to Washington to know what to expect.
You can rebuild, you can pick yourselves up, and it's just a matter of being patient.
Know that there is hope on the other side of that.
But the main message from Washington residents, stay strong.
There are hard days ahead, but there are good days ahead too, as they see people pull together.
In Washington, Hannah Hilliard, WMBD 31 News.
Certainly an important message you heard there for people to stay strong. And guys, we are learning that communities really throughout Illinois are throwing together donations and trying to get them right here to the state line, especially this Fairdale area. And again, if you all have donations or you want to try to help out, we have a link to ways that you can help out on our website, mystateline.com, for a full list of all those. For now, we're going to send it back to you, though. I'm Christie Nicks, live in Fairdale.
It's amazing how many lives were changed in such a short period of time there. Christy, thanks.
And we'll be right back with meteorologist Kristen Swiner. She'll have your complete